What's going on, people? We are back. Sorry for the late entrance, but unfortunately, technical difficulties. I'm in the middle of moving house, which is a bit of a nightmare, and Luke's away. So, but we're here. We are here. Same host, new show format. Really excited for this one. How you doing, Luke?
Oh, mate, I'm so fucking good. Mate, we're 3 games into the fucking... Well, nearly 3 games into the season. And, mate, it's been a fucking rollercoaster already, isn't it?
Yeah, it really has. I mean, I'll get your thoughts on the Southampton game in a minute, but what have you made of the fact that Spurs really haven't utilised any new signings yet?
Oh, mate, do you know what? Like, a lot of people have been speaking about how Spurs haven't, brought in their new signings. They haven't played their new signings. Like, a lot of people thought that, like, Basuma would start from the off, but he's had a little bit part in pre-season. A lot of people thought that Perisic would start, but, again, he's had a bit part in pre-season. But I tell you what, as much as, people doubt the signings that we've had, rivals have doubted the signings that we've had. Like, oh my God, what a start to the season it's been. Absolutely smash the fuck out of Southampton. And then Battle of the Bridge Part 2. It's just been outrageous already. We're 2 games in.
Yeah, it's been crazy. I mean, just touching on the Southampton game, it was obviously when they scored first, every single Spurs fan would have went, "Oh, fuck's sake, here we go again. Oh, here we go again." But then what we did after that, I thought we looked incredible. Kulusevski looked unbelievable, looked unplayable. And it didn't really matter because once we kind of flipped that switch, I mean, we absolutely took them apart. We could have had 6s and 7s in that game easily.
Yeah, definitely. I think that, when those players are on fire, like our front 3 is probably on par with the best front 3 in the league, without a doubt.
Agree, 100%.
And when they're on fire, that was outrageous. In that game, we scored 4 goals and none of the front 3 scored.
Yeah, it was no, Son or Kane didn't score, did they? That was
Son or Kane didn't score.
But yeah, no, it was good. And obviously, one thing I liked about the game was it showed a high intensity, and that's something that Tottenham have lacked of late, if that makes sense. Obviously, I was a bit skeptical. I was like, we spent all this money and none of the new players are starting. I found that slightly odd, but it worked, didn't it? It really worked. I mean, just a notable mention to some players that I think have started the season really, really well. Kulusevski, I think, has been unbelievable. But even Kane and Son was a bit poor against Chelsea, but for a team performance, you couldn't ask for any more for that grit, that determination, going a goal behind, fighting back. What more could you ask for? 4 great goals. Could have been 7.
But that's what I mean. Like, we put those players on like a fucking pedestal. Do you know what I mean? Like, we put them so high up in the caliber of a football match that when they don't score, we say, "Oh, they had a good game, but they didn't score." Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a bit ridiculous in the fact that we don't rate them higher for having an outrageously good performance.
Yeah, I mean, all I've heard is lately, Southampton, the Whipping Boys are going to get relegated. They've spent some big money as well. They bought in Bazunu, who I think is a great goalkeeper, but they bought in a lot of young players. I think they're looking to flip those players in a few years' time to make a bit more money back. But, Southampton are one of them teams you never know what you're going to get. You're either going to batter them or they're going to put up a good game. I mean, look at the game at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium last season when they beat us 3-2.
We can call it White Hart Lane. It's fine.
White Hart Lane, yeah. That sounds wrong, doesn't it? Tottenham Hotspur. It doesn't sound right. It doesn't sit right. But yeah, I don't really have too much to say about Southampton. I think we were excellent. The main game I want to talk about is Chelsea because I think we were poor.
Mate, let's get into that because I'll tell you what, that's going to take a lot of our time today.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know, the channel that used to be Rivalry Side TV is rebranded to Part Lane Podcast. And if you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to share the podcast, because we have a good time making it, but you guys are the people that make it even better.
Yeah, we don't do it for money. We do it because we like talking shit about Tottenham. Really, we sacked off the Arsenal and went straight back to focusing on Tottenham. So, we just enjoy talking about it. But let's get into it. Let's get into the Chelsea game. What was your thoughts? What did you think of the game?
Mate, I'm still not even calm a week later. Mate, I'm not even joking. It was outrageous, that game, wasn't it? Spurs played absolutely outrageously shit. Let's be honest. We were not good in that game. We walk away with a 2-2 draw and we're absolutely laughing, in my opinion.
Yeah, to be honest, it showed in my head that's a game we lose 4-0 last season.
Yeah,
or the season
100%.
before, or the season before. To have the grit to hang in there, because Chelsea played us off the park. We were not at the races at all. Chelsea literally played us off the park. So to come away with sorry, I've got to plug my laptop in. To come away with a point is massive. It's something that Tottenham never really had before. We never really had that grit. We just roll over, especially at Stamford Bridge, especially against Chelsea. So it's like all the Chelsea fans taking a piss out of Tottenham and for celebrating the draw. We've won once there in 30 years.
Mate, it's outrageous. It's outrageous, isn't it?
Anything
once
from
in
there,
30 years.
To get anything from there, a point, I don't care. It feels like a win, especially with the way the game was going. Because fair play to Chelsea, they did play us off the park. Tactically, Tuchel got it spot on. They went man for man and they dominated play and dominated possession. And it was one of those games where, to be honest, the biggest difference I think Richarlison made. When Richarlison came on, he changed the game. Because we've always had this Kane loves to drop deep. Kane loves to drop deep to receive the ball, which means defenders are quite comfortable. Richarlison goes in behind. He runs in behind and he makes aggressive runs in behind, which means the defenders have to come up, which creates space for Kane, etc. So what I was going to say was I think that as a whole, the performance was absolutely terrible. It was dog shit. But it's good to see a new signing coming on, making a difference, making an impact, and getting a last-minute equaliser, last-second equaliser, or as Harry Kane would say, a winner.
I know, yeah.
For me, we can't ask for much more. If you want to compete in this league, you've got to get results. You've got to get a result at places you don't normally get results, and places and results when you don't play well. And we ticked all those boxes.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right. We didn't play well against Chelsea, but when Richarlison came on, Conte made a swift move, right? Mm-hmm. He changed it from a 5-3-2, or sorry, 5-3-3, or 5-2-3, sorry, into a 4-3-3.
Yeah, it's 4-3-3 rotating between 4-3-3 and 4-5-1, wasn't it?
Yeah, he suddenly switched it. And at that point, we had a lot more intensity. We managed to match them man for man. Weirdly, because they had, 5 at the back. But I think you're 100% right. I think, I was doubtful about Richarlison as a signing. And then we look at that performance against Chelsea and you think, do you know what? In a fucking instant, we could just suddenly switch it up. And I think the end result was outrageously good for the performance. It was so bad. Yeah,
like I said, you can't ask for more than that. I thought Basuma looked good when he came on as well. But it's one of those ones. It's a game full of drama. It's Chelsea. Hello, Nippin. Hello, Holly. It's a game full of drama. It's a game full of incidents. Conte and Tuchel having a bit of a battle on the touchline. Getting in each other's faces when we score goals, etc., and things like that. The incident with a handshake after, which was totally Tuchel's fault, in my opinion. But then you've got, players getting involved, and it wasn't really an aggressive game on the pitch. It was a good footballing game. I thought it was very high intensity, and to get a bit of, like I said, to get a result at Stamford Bridge where we notoriously for us, that's a loss every season. I always count it as, oh, well, that's a loss. We're not getting nothing out of that because it's Chelsea away. So the reality of it is we've gone there. We've got something. I don't care what anybody says. 1 win in 30 years at Stamford Bridge. I'm 35 years old, mate. That's nearly my lifetime, So I don't see us win at Chelsea. I don't see it. So the reality of it is we got a result, and Romero dragging Cucurella down by the hair just topped the day off for me.
Mate, I tell you what, you look at Romero, he's more and more the epitome of a Conte Spurs team than anyone else.
He's a proper shithouse, isn't he?
Mate, you look at Havertz, right? Havertz absolutely smashed into the floor, and he got up and he was like, do you know what? This is not the end of this. And even the commentary team knew it. Do you know what I mean? Even the current commentary team knew that wasn't the end of it when he smashed.
Get back, when he
got smashed to the floor. Exactly, mate. He looked at him and he said, you know what? I'm having you. Cucurella stood on his knee in the 7th minute of the game.
Yeah,
and then the 96th minute, he said, do you know what? I haven't forgotten this. And then pulled him to the floor. As much as people don't like it, and as much as people, think that it's outrageously bad, this is the Tottenham Hotspur that you're seeing right now. This is a Tottenham Hotspur under Antonio Conte. And this is the Tottenham Hotspur that I absolutely fucking love.
That's amazing.
It's outrageous. And, I think that Antonio Conte is building a beast, and I'm all for it.
Yeah, because there's been a lot of talk about the players he's bought, hasn't there? Because they're all big.
Yeah,
none of them are under 6 foot. They're all 6 foot and above. So he's building like a strong and intimidating team, which is nice. I thought Son looked miles off the pace. He's looked miles off the pace since the start of the season. I wouldn't be surprised if Richarlison starts today, to be honest, because he has looked miles off it. But other than Sonny, Sonny will come good. We know he'll get goals. I've got no worries there. I think there's been some very, very good player performances, but more than that is team performances. Nipping Romero, it's only a little strain. It's about 10 days. I don't even think he's injured. I think he's being pulled out the firing line, to be honest. So he won't be out for long. Yeah, and as well, I'm not even going to comment on some of your fans, mate. Nearly all my family support Chelsea, so I live with it daily, and I live with 30 years of pain of having to live with the memes and everything else. So it's been nice to be able to send the cockerel in Cucurella's wig to them and things like that this week. It's been amazing. What's your kind of thoughts on the Romero situation? What do you think? Do you think he's injured, or do you think they're putting him out?
Mate, it's difficult, isn't it? Because we tweeted about it a few days ago, saying that he was going to be out for a couple of weeks, but it seems to be a lot better than anticipated. Whether it's rumors, whether it's reality, I'm unsure. Are we really thinking he's out for a few weeks? Probably not. You saw him 96th minute jumping in Reece James's face. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is he really injured? Probably not. But I think you're 100% correct. I think that take him out of the firing line. Take him out of the heat for a little bit. Davinson Sanchez can do a game against Wolves.
Yeah, if not, they'll just bring Clement Longley in.
Yeah.
I know he's left-footed, but he can play right centre back. So it'll be interesting to see who does come in. But no, it was, like I said to you, the overall performance for me was shocking, but the grit and steel we showed to be able to grind out a result is unbelievable. Because that's a notoriously a game we lose 3, 4, etc.
Mate, I think you're 100% correct. I think that, seasons gone by, and even potentially seasons to come, we bottle that game.
Yeah.
And we get smashed. Let's not be under any illusion that we weren't good against Chelsea. We weren't even average. But we still came away with a 2-2 draw.
Yeah, that'll feel like a loss to them.
Yeah.
That'll feel like a loss to them. I want to touch on a couple of things very quickly, because I haven't actually spoken to you in a couple of weeks. One being transfers. Obviously, we've just signed Udogie.
Yep.
What's that, number 7 or number 8?
7,
Number 8 of the window. I know he's gone back on loan to Udinese, is it?
Yeah.
I don't know nothing about him.
No.
I know we're linked with Malinowski. We're linked with creating Paqueta, attacking midfielders. What do you think we need? What if I said to you right now, you're right now you can sign 2 players which will complete Tottenham's transfer window. What positions would you go for?
Mate, we need at least another centre back, without a shadow of a doubt. I think that even the rumor of Romero being injured is too much for me to fathom.
Strikes fear in Spurs' hearts, doesn't it?
Yeah, 100%. We need at least another centre back.
Yeah,
and that's a minimum. I don't think we'll sign 2 more. I think that when you're looking at a centre back, I think that's probably the limit for me.
Yeah,
but what I don't love about the new signing is that he looks like a good kid. He looks like a talent. He's tall. He's fast. But I don't like that we're doing business for next year already.
No, but I do. And the reason I do is because everyone's barking on about Conte leaving. He's going to leave. He's off. He's not going to stay. Why is he buying players for next season if he's going to leave?
Yeah.
So that's kind of the way I view it. If Conte is buying players for next season. There's been a lot of talk about Jed Spence not being on the bench and things like that. But the reality of it is they're young players. They're young kids. I'd imagine Jed Spence will probably go on loan till next season. That's
what you reckon?
Yeah, that's my overall thoughts. I think he'll end up on loan at a Championship club or a Premier League club lower down until next season to get that experience. In my eyes, we desperately need another centre half. I think what we'll end up doing will be signing a younger kid, someone who is a bit, you probably 18, 19, 20, I'd imagine. Or 22, and then kind of going from there. I can't see us going out and spending big money on like a Bastoni or a Skriniar, or I'd like us to get Zabani. That's my ideal signing. I'd love us to get Malinowski. I think he's a great player, but I prefer Paqueta. Wow. But again, it's we've had a good transfer window. We can't grumble, and the reality of it is we've had a good transfer window, and we're still playing the same team as last season. So I'm not even going to sit here and pretend I know what I'm doing. I do well on Football Manager, but I'm not Antonio Conte. So Romero is one of those players who would absolutely hate playing against, but loving your team 100%. He is a complete and utter shithouse, and it's amazing. It really is amazing. He's like Richarlison. I can see why Everton fans took to Richarlison so well. Any thoughts, Luke?
No, not really, mate. I think you've hit the nail on the head. We're 7 signings in, and we're still talking about who else we bring in. I mean, exactly, mate. That's how outrageous it is. Do you mean we're talking how many signings Spurs have made, and how many signings did we make 5 years ago? How many signings did we make 3 years ago? Do you mean
we went 2 windows with no signings, didn't we,
mate? Exactly, and the Pochettino,
and then we signed Ndombele and Lo Celso, who've been bombed out,
mate. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's the problem with us, right? We go from one moment for having nothing, and then we go to the next moment in having 100, and then we still find something to say, oh, do you know what? But I prefer we signed X over X.
Yeah, in the current climate, the world we live in, you can't afford to make £100 million mistakes on players.
No.
At the moment, and that's fact.
72 million pound mistakes, as Nicolas Pepe was, but
but according to Den, he's not that bad of a signing. But we wasted 100 million on Lo Celso and Ndombele. I think Ndombele will smash it in Italy.
Yeah,
slower league, slower pace. He gets more time on the ball. He hasn't got to track back. The only time I ever see him run is when he's running to McDonald's. That's Tongi, unfortunately. And Gio, Lo Celso's a bit of a weird one because I actually thought he'd do really well in the Prem, but he's just one of the players that didn't look interested. So I think we'll focus on getting people out. I think Reguilon will go. I think Winks will go. And then I think potentially, because at the moment I think it's worked out. We've got 26 players for our Champions League squad. We need to trim it down to 25 now. Tongi and Gio gone. So there'll be one more to go. I'd imagine Brian Hill will probably go out on loan again.
Yeah.
And Pape Sarr, another one that will more than likely go out on loan, which then leaves space for one player. So I think we will sign one more. That's my thoughts.
That's good. That's a good enough. to be honest. That's a good way of explaining it and a good way of nitpicking through the squad. And I think you're 100% correct with that. I think that, Hill and Pedestal, I think they're perfect players to just go out and enjoy their time away.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to loan Brian Hill to Spain. I think he needs to go to like the Championship, to a lower league Premier League side, etc. Because he needs to build that physicality for the Premier League. The reality of it is he's a young, small, glitzy player, but he doesn't have that upper body strength yet, and that's something he's not going to get if he keeps being sent back to Spain. He needs to be sent to, like I said, to a Stoke or something like that.
Stick him in Stoke, and he gets the baptism of fire. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Even someone like Burnley, the way they're playing football at the moment, that'd be a good move for him for a little while.
Right.
Pedestal, Conte came out and said he looks absolutely brilliant. Conte said he's definitely one to watch for the future. So I think he'll end up on loan again. But he's 18, 19? He's only a young kid as well. So that's the way I look at it. 26 at the moment. I think 2 will go and 1 will come in, and I think that'll be our 25-man squad for the Champions League.
That's a good shout. That's a good shout. But I wanted to just touch on today's game.
Yeah.
Because I've just checked Spurs Twitter and the lineup's out.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So there's a couple of changes to the lineup. So I'll go through the lineup.
Starts, I reckon.
You are wrong.
Am I?
Yeah, you are wrong for once. Fuck me. Jesus Christ, Dave's wrong.
Jesus.
So Lloris in goal.
Royal, Sanchez, Dyer, Davis, Perisic, Bentancur, Højbjerg, Kulusevski, Son and Kane.
So 2 changes, right? So we're talking Romero's out. As you say, I think you're 100% right. I think get him out the firing line. So Davinson Sanchez comes in at right centre-back. Perisic comes in at left wing-back. Left wing-back. So Perisic is an interesting one, right? So we signed him. A lot of people said he was too old. A lot of people said he was past it. The only issue that I have is that he's been outrageously good off the bench. Is he someone that starts?
What I will say is the sign of Perisic, I was always completely for it. You saw last week when he missed a chance when Sessegnon missed that chance against Chelsea. Perisic was the first one out, giving him coaching, giving him advice, telling him what to do. And when he came on, he looked brilliant. I think that the reality of it is Cess had a poor game last week against Chelsea. He didn't look at the races. He had a great game the week before, but he looked poor against Chelsea. So I think Perisic coming in, it's good news. It gives Cess something to watch. And I like Perisic. He looks fit as a fiddle. So I'm surprised.
He looks too good for 30, doesn't he?
Huh?
He looks too good for like 30.
33 he is. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. Abs on the guy. Jesus Christ. I haven't seen abs in about 10 years, and I'm 35. So he's doing something right. But yeah, no, I'm glad he's starting. I think it'll be good to a bit of rotation for him and Cess. I am surprised Basuma and Richarlison haven't got a nod, but when breaking up that front three is always going to be difficult. The only worry for me is Davinson Sanchez. In terms of Wolves, have any of their new signings starting? Do you know?
Do you know what? It's a good shout actually. Let me have a look.
They have, they have got new players starting.
Guedes
first start. Nunes starts.
Mate, do you know what? That Nunes, it makes me fucking crazy because a lot of Liverpool fans were talking about signing him. A lot of Liverpool fans I know were like, "Oh, he's an amazing player." The next 5 minutes,
he's shit.
Wolves, that's it, done. No, Wolves done it. Do you know what I mean?
Mate, they're nuts. It's because you might as well call them Portugal FC. It's ridiculous the amount of Portuguese players they've got. But no, Guedes Nunes being thrown straight in the Lions' den. But yeah, no, I'm excited for today. Sanchez worries me a little bit, but he's got to step up at some point. Obviously, Conte believes in him more than he believed in Rodon, which is why Rodon's now in France. But yeah, no, it should be a good game. What's your score predictions, Luke? What do you think we're gonna?
Well, talking about Sanchez for a minute, when I was at the Rangers pre-season game, in the first half, I was sat, watching the back four.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, Sanchez was a lot faster than I imagined.
Really?
And he's tall and he's strong. And I think I understand what Conte's saying. Like in my opinion, do I keep Rodon or Sanchez at this moment in time? 100% I keep Sanchez.
Yeah.
He gives you a little bit more. He gives you a little more risk. But at the same time, he's a big, big guy. And, at home against Wolves, mate, why would I not want, Sanchez or Rodon, in my opinion? He ain't going to give a penalty away
it's a shame
against
about Rodon.
Wolves.
I liked Rodon. I didn't think he got much of a shout. I thought he looked good when he came in. But sometimes it doesn't work out. And we paid big money for Sanchez. People forget that, 40-something million, 46 million, or whatever it may be. So, yeah, for me, it's one of those ones. I trust Conte. He wanted to keep Sanchez. And hopefully he can come good. We don't know what he's been working on pre-season, and we'll find out in an hour's time.
Sorry, talking about score predictions, by the way. Sorry, I think Spurs will batter Wolves today.
Do you?
Yeah, I think, honestly, people talk about the curse of the early kickoff. They talk about... So anyway, anyone that knows me, do not fucking tweet me. Do not text me. Do not even get in touch with me, because I've got to take my nan for lunch today. I'm going to miss the Spurs game. As bad as this is, right? I run, and I'm like the owner of a Spurs podcast, but I can't make the game because my nan needs to go for lunch. So do not tweet me. Do not text me. My phone is off for the next 3 hours, and I think Spurs win 4-0.
That's a bold.
Mate, I'm not even joking. Like, I am that confident that we will battle.
That's bold. I mean, I think we'll win, but I don't think we'll win 4-0. I can see it being a tight game. I'm the same as Nippin. Nippin thinks 2-1 Tottenham, and I'm kind of on the same boat as that. I don't think we'll beat them 4-0. I'm interested to see their players, Guedes and Nunez, and see what they look like. But yeah, I think it'll be a close game. I won't text you the scores. I might.
Mate, my phone is off. Honestly,
I might just sit there and text you and be like, "I can't believe this, mate. I can't believe it." To see what let your own imagination run wild. But yeah, I mean, look, I can't. I don't know. I can't stay on too much longer. I'm in the middle of moving house. You're taking your nan out for lunch.
Yeah.
But
we've got to do these things, haven't we?
We've got to do these things. We've stopped our morning stopped our morning just to jump on and have a quick half an hour chat with you guys. We will be back bigger and better, and the show will be a bit longer. But obviously, right now we're kind of in a situation where I'm moving house, Luke's away, but we thought we'd jump on and give you a little bit of content. So we hope you tune in for the foreseeable. If you're not liked the channel on YouTube, please do. If you're not liked our Twitter page, please do like, share, and subscribe. Luke, any final thoughts from you, mate?
No, mate. I think you've hit the nail on the head there. It's been a topsy-turvy time for this channel, but I tell you what, now we are Spurs focused. We are Spurs 100%. And I tell you what, bring on the fucking game in the next hour. Oh my God, I can't wait. Because I'm going to even miss the game. Do you know what I mean?
You're going to be eating scones and tea,
mate. Do you know what I've done? Do you know what I've done? I've recorded the game, taken my nan for lunch, turned my phone off, and then I'm going to watch it.
Well, I'm sitting in a half-empty house because, like I said, I've been moving since 5 a.m. this morning, but I've left my TV here. So I'm going to put the telly on, get my pictures down off the wall, make it look like I'm busy while Tottenham are playing in the background. And when the wife calls me and asks me what I'm up to, I'll be like, I'm just packing some more boxes, babe. Really, I'm watching Tottenham. But yeah, I can't wait. Not long to go now. Have a nice lunch with your nan, Luke.
Cheers,
thank you for tuning in. Like I said, apologies, it's a short one today. But hopefully you'll stick with us. We'll be back for more Tottenham talk soon. Sacked off the Arsenal, gone back to the roots, changed the name, rebranded, same great hosts, better content. And we hope you can enjoy the journey with us.
Mate, you couldn't even made it any better. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good Saturday, and we'll see you next time.
Come on, you Spurs. See you soon.